The Ramayana. Introduction. The Ramayana, an ancient Indian epic, is believed by some early scholars to have originated around 1500 BC. However, recent studies suggest a later date, around the 4th century BC. Nevertheless, these dates remain speculative, and the later date doesn't diminish the intrinsic value of this epic. Composed by Valmiki in the classical language of India, Sanskrit, the entire work, consisting of 24,000 stanzas, was crafted in a state of pure inspiration. The Ramayana is an old Indian story that some people think is from 1500 BC, while others say it's more like the 4th century BC. Either way, it's a valuable epic composed by Valmiki in Sanskrit with a whopping 24,000 stanzas. Now, almost everyone in India, all 500 million of them, knows the Ramayana's story. It doesn't matter if you're young or old, educated or not, you know about Rama and Sita, the main characters. Kids hear the story at bedtime and some study it for religious reasons, reading it multiple times in their lifetime. The Ramayana is always around, whether it's discussed in a hall, narrated by a storyteller, or performed on stage. People love hearing the story again and again. As you dive deeper, the Ramayana becomes more than just a tale. It's a study of characters, a literary masterpiece, and even a scripture. It's like a guide to life, teaching lessons about motives, actions, and reactions that apply to any time or situation. It's not just about big battles and politics. You can find the struggles between good and evil in everyday life, even in your own family. Chapter 1. Rama's Initiation. In the Grand Assembly Hall, Dasaratha's latest pride was bustling all day with visiting dignitaries, royal emissaries, and citizens bringing forth representations or appeals for justice. The king, always accessible, fulfilled his duties as the ruler of Kosala without grudging the hours spent in public service. One afternoon, messengers at the gate rushed in to announce the sage Viswamitra. Upon hearing this, the king rose and hurried forward to welcome the visitor. Viswamitra, once a king, a conqueror, and a dreaded name until he embraced the life of a sage, combined the eminence of a sage with the authority of a king, possessing a quick temper. Dasaratha led him to a suitable seat and said, "Your gracious presence on this glorious day is most welcome. Have you traveled from afar? Would you like to rest first?" "No need," the sage replied simply. He had complete mastery over his bodily needs through inner discipline and austerities, unaffected by heat, cold, hunger, fatigue, and even decrepitude. Politely, the king asked, "Is there anything I can do for you?" Viswamitra looked directly at the king and replied, "Yes. I am here to ask for a favor. I wish to perform a yajna at Siddhasrama before the next full moon. Do you know where it is?" "I have passed that sacred ground beyond the Ganges many times," the king responded. Interrupting, the sage said, "But there are creatures waiting to disturb every holy undertaking there, and they must be overcome, much like conquering the fivefold evils within oneself before realizing holiness. These creatures possess immeasurable destructive powers. However, it is our duty to pursue our aims undeterred. The yajna I propose will strengthen the beneficial forces of this world and please the gods above. It is my duty to protect your sublime effort. Tell me when, and I will be there." The sage stated, "No need to disturb your august self. Send your son Rama with me, and he will assist me." "He can." "Rama," exclaimed the surprised king, "when I am here to serve you." Viswamitra's temper began to stir. "I know your greatness," he said, cutting the king short. "But I want Rama to go with me. If you are not willing, you may say so." The air became tense. The assembly, ministers, and officials watched in solemn silence. The king looked miserable. Rama is still a child, learning the arts and practicing the use of arms. His sentences never seemed to conclude but trailed away as he tried to explain. "He is a boy, too young and tender to contend with demons." "But I know Rama," was all that Viswamitra replied. "I can send an army or lead one myself to guard your performance. What can a stripling like Rama do against those terrible forces? I helped Indra once when he was harassed and deprived of his kingdom." Ignoring his speech, Viswamitra rose to leave. "If you cannot send Rama, I need none else." He started to move down the passage. The king was too stricken to move. When Viswamitra had gone halfway, he realized that the visitor was leaving unceremoniously and was not even shown the courtesy of being escorted to the door. Vasishtha, the king's priest and guide, whispered to Dasaratha, "Follow him and call him back," and hurried forward even before the king could grasp what he was saying. He almost ran as Viswamitra had reached the end of the hall and, blocking his way, said, "The king is coming, please don't go." He did not mean, A wry smile played on Viswamitra's face as he said without any trace of bitterness, "Why are you or anyone agitated? I came here for a purpose, it has failed, no reason to prolong my stay." "Oh, Eminent One, you were yourself a king once." "What has that to do with us now?" asked Viswamitra, rather irked, since he hated all reference to his secular past and wanted always to be known as a Brahma rishi. Vasishtha answered mildly, "Only to remind you of an ordinary man's feelings, especially a man like Dasaratha who had been childless and had to pray hard for an issue." "Well, it may be so, Great One, I still say that I came on a mission and wish to leave since it has failed." "It has not failed," said Vasishtha, and just then the king came up to join them in the passage. The assembly was on its feet. Dasaratha made a deep obeisance and said, "Come back to your seat, your holiness." "For what purpose, your majesty?" Viswamitra asked. "Easier to talk seated." "I don't believe in any talk," said Viswamitra, but Vasishtha pleaded with him until he returned to his seat. When they were all seated again, Vasishtha addressed the king, "There must be a divine purpose working through this seer, who may know but will not explain. It is a privilege that Rama's help should be sought. Do not bar his way. Let him go with the sage." "When, oh when?" the king asked anxiously. "Now," said Viswamitra. The king looked woebegone and desperate, and the sage relented enough to utter a word of comfort. "You cannot count on the physical proximity of someone you love all the time. A seed that sprouts at the foot of its parent tree remains stunted until it is transplanted. Rama will be in my care, and he will be quite well. But ultimately he will leave me too. Every human being, when the time comes, has to depart and seek his fulfillment in his own way." "Siddhasrama is far away?" began the king. "I'll ease his path for him, no need for a chariot to take us there," said Viswamitra, reading his mind. "Rama has never been separated from his brother Lakshmana. May he also go with him?" pleaded the king, and he looked relieved when he heard Viswamitra say, "Yes, I will look after both, though their mission will be to look after me. Let them get ready to follow me, let them select their favorite weapons and prepare to leave." Dasaratha, with the look of one delivering hostages into the hand of an enemy, turned to his minister and said, "Fetch my sons." Following the footsteps of their master like his shadows, Rama and Lakshmana went past the limits of the city and reached the Saraya River, which bounded the capital on the north. When night fell, they rested at a wooded grove and at dawn crossed the river. When the sun came over the mountain peak, they reached a pleasant grove over which hung, like a canopy, fragrant smoke from numerous sacrificial fires. Viswamitra explained to Rama, "This is where God Shiva meditated once upon a time and reduced to ashes the god of love when he attempted to spoil his meditation. From time immemorial, saints praying to Shiva come here to perform their sacrifices, and the pall of smoke you notice is from their sacrificial fires." A group of hermits emerged from their seclusion, received Viswamitra, and invited him and his 2 disciples to stay with them for the night. Viswamitra resumed his journey at dawn and reached a desert region at midday. The mere expression desert hardly conveys the absolute aridity of this land. Under a relentless sun, all vegetation had dried and turned to dust, stone and rock crumbled into powdery sand, which lay in vast dunes, stretching away to the horizon. Here every inch was scorched and dry and hot beyond imagination. The ground was cracked and split, exposing enormous fissures everywhere. The distinction between dawn, noon, and evening did not exist here, as the sun seemed to stay overhead and burn the earth without moving. Bleached bones lay where animals had perished, including those of monstrous serpents with jaws open in deadly thirst. Into these enormous jaws had rushed, says the poet, elephants desperately seeking shade, all dead and fossilized, the serpent and the elephant alike. Heat haze rose and singed the very heavens. While traversing this ground, Viswamitra noticed the bewilderment and distress on the faces of the young men and transmitted to them mentally 2 mantras called Bala and Adibala. When they meditated on and recited these incantations, the arid atmosphere was transformed for the rest of their passage, and they felt as if they were wading through a cool stream with a southern summer breeze blowing in their faces. Rama, ever curious to know the country he was passing through, asked, "Why is this land so terrible? Why does it seem accursed?" You will learn the answer if you listen to this story, of a woman fierce, ruthless, eating and digesting all living creatures, possessing the strength of 1,000 mad elephants. Thattaka's story. Let me tell you about Thattaka, a powerful and fierce creature. She was once the daughter of Sakitha, a demigod known for his valor and purity. Thattaka was beautiful and full of wild energy. She got married to a chieftain named Sunda, and together, they had 2 sons, Maricha and Subahu. These sons possessed supernatural powers and physical strength, and in their arrogance, they wreaked havoc in their surroundings. Their father, influenced by their behavior, joined in their destructive activities, uprooting ancient trees and slaughtering creatures that crossed their path. Their destructive behavior caught the attention of the wise sage Agastya, who cursed Sunda, leading to his death. Thattaka, upon learning of her husband's death, along with her sons, sought revenge on the sage. In response, Agastya cursed them, transforming them from demigods to demons. Their appearance and nature changed, and the sons left to join superdemons, while Thattaka remained alone, breathing fire and spreading destruction. Thattaka, armed with a trident and a cobra armlet, became a fearsome creature. She constantly harassed hermits during their prayers, devouring anything that moved and turning the once fertile region into a desolate desert. She embodied destruction, and her presence alone spelled doom. When Rama inquired about Thattaka's whereabouts, she appeared with a storm preceding her. Towering over them, she had fiery eyes, bared fangs, and a cavernous mouth. Her trident raised, she declared her intent to kill and consume any living being in her kingdom. Rama hesitated, recognizing the dilemma of killing a woman, even an evil one. Sensing his thoughts, Viswamitra emphasized that Thattaka should not be considered a woman but a monstrous force that needed to be eliminated. He cited instances from mythology where destructive women had been defeated for the greater good. Thattaka's ruthless strength and appearance made her more akin to a demon than a woman. Rama, understanding his duty, agreed to rid the world of Thattaka. She attacked with her trident and a hail of stones, but Rama, skilled with his bow and arrows, defended himself. In the end, Rama's arrow pierced Thattaka's throat, ending her reign of terror and marking the beginning of Rama's mission to eradicate evil from the world. The gods, witnessing Rama's victory, expressed their joy and relief. Viswamitra then imparted his knowledge and powers to Rama, making him a skilled warrior. The presiding deities of various weapons pledged their allegiance to Rama, ready to serve him day and night. As they continued their journey and reached a mist-covered wood on a mountain, Viswamitra had another story to share. Mahabali's story. This tale unfolds on sacred ground where Vishnu once meditated. At that time, Mahabali, a powerful king, conquered both heaven and earth, celebrating his victory with a grand yajna. Inviting learned men, he unknowingly welcomed Vishnu in disguise, a tiny Brahmin. Expressing admiration for Mahabali's greatness, the dwarf Brahmin declined material gifts, seeking only a small piece of land measured in 3 strides. Amused, Mahabali agreed. However, his guru, Sukracarya, warned against hasty decisions, suspecting the dwarf's true identity. Disregarding the advice, Mahabali pledged to fulfill the request, pouring water to seal the promise. Instantly, the dwarf transformed into a colossal figure. With the first step, he covered the entire earth, with the second, he enveloped the heavens. Nowhere remained for the third step except Mahabali's head. Acknowledging defeat, Mahabali offered his head, and Vishnu pressed him into the netherworld, ending the reign of the tormentor. As Viswamitra concluded the story, he declared a pause in their journey. He chose the location for his upcoming sacrifices, guarded by Rama and Lakshmana. The demons, seeking revenge, attempted to disrupt the yajna with various disturbances. Undeterred, Rama and Lakshmana defended the sages, ensuring the successful completion of the sacrifice. Viswamitra praised Rama for his crucial role and revealed that the sacrifices were for the greater good of humanity. As Rama inquired about their next steps, Viswamitra hinted at more significant tasks ahead. He suggested a visit to Mithila city, where King Janaka was hosting a grand yajna. Little did they know that this diversion marked the beginning of a series of crucial events in Rama's destiny. After a day's journey, they reached a valley with the flowing Ganges. Viswamitra, preparing for another tale, spoke of the holy river's origins in the Himalayas, flowing peacefully through mountains, valleys, and kingdoms. Now, he invited Rama to listen to the story of the mighty Ganga. Ganga's story. Let me share a story with you. Imagine every inch of the earth having a divine connection. Mother Earth, a primeval element since creation, has witnessed countless events. Even after people are gone, the land retains the echoes of its past. We understand this better when we acknowledge the sacred nature of every place we step on. Now, look at the Ganga River. Flowing from the Himalayas, it carries rare elements, making every inch it touches sacred. Ganga cleanses and transforms. A sip of its water or the ashes dissolved in it can bring salvation. But before Ganga could touch the earth, she had a story, involving the fate of early ancestors. One ancestor, Sakara, once ruled with distinction. During a crucial horse sacrifice, a horse is set free, passing through kingdoms. Countries letting it pass accept the king's suzerainty. Sakara's sons faced challenges when Indra hid the horse underground. The sage Kapila, meditating there, was misunderstood, leading to conflict. Eventually, the grandson apologized and the sacrifice continued. Later, King Sankara renounced the world in favor of his grandson, Bhagiratha, responsible for bringing Ganga to earth. Bhagiratha, learning of his ancestors' fate, prayed intensely to Brahma, Shiva, and Ganga for thousands of years. Ganga, appearing as a girl, warned about her force. Despite challenges between Shiva and Ganga, Bhagiratha prayed for 30,000 years, surviving on practically nothing. At the end of Bhagiratha's penance, Ganga descended. Shiva absorbed the deluge into his locks, ensuring it didn't harm the earth. Bhagiratha led a trickle underground, helping his ancestors attain salvation. This act benefited not only his ancestors but all of mankind, as the Ganges now flows through holy shrines, nourishing land and people. As they neared Mithila city, Rama noticed a stone slab transforming into a woman, Aholya, the wife of sage Gautama. Viswamitra introduced her to Rama, sharing her story. Aholya's tale: every inch of the earth has a divine connection, and Mother Earth, existing since creation, bears the imprints of countless lives. Understanding this divine association is crucial. Ganga, the sacred river, carries the essence of rare elements, transforming and purifying all it touches. The story delves into the past, involving Sankara, an ancestor who planned a significant horse sacrifice. Indra, a god, abducted the horse, leading to a conflict. Sankara's sons, in pursuit, found the horse behind sage Kapila, leading to tragic consequences. Bhagiratha, Sankara's descendant, aimed to bring the Ganges down to earth to redeem his ancestors. Through intense prayers to Brahma, Shiva, and Ganga, he succeeded after enduring challenges. Ganga's descent, halted by Shiva, was guided by Bhagiratha over his ancestors' ashes, providing salvation. This act not only benefited his kin but also humanity, as the Ganges nurtures countless shrines and lands. As they approached Mithila city, another tale unfolded. Rama, passing by, transformed a stone into the woman Aholya. Viswamitra narrated her story, a creation of beauty by Brahma, marriage to sage Gautama, and Indra's deceit leading to her petrification. Gautama, forgiving Indra, turned his marks into eyes, and Rama's touch redeemed Aholya. Rama, embodying righteousness, comforted her, emphasizing the importance of moving forward. Restored, Aholya and Gautama reunited as the group continued their journey to Mithila city, unveiling the intricate tapestry of divine tales. The wedding. After traversing various landscapes, Mithila emerged as a vibrant city teeming with life. Rama, upon entering, witnessed golden turrets, colorful flags, and lively streets adorned with scattered jewelry, remnants of joyous moments. The air was filled with the fragrance of flower garlands, resonating with the sounds of nature and human activities. In Mithila, women on terraces sang and danced to the tunes of veena and soft drums. Swings suspended from tall poles brought delight to couples, and the city's shops displayed treasures like gems, gold, ivory, and peacock feathers. Unique events, from elephant fights to horse races and ballad performances, unfolded before Rama's eyes. As they approached Janaka's palace, Rama glimpsed Princess Sita on a balcony. Their eyes met, revealing a connection beyond their mortal existence. Although once divine companions, they now looked upon each other as strangers in their current mortal forms. Sita's beauty captivated Rama, leaving an indelible mark. Unaware of Sita's identity, Rama moved forward, and the festivities of Mithila intensified. Amidst the celebrations, Janaka, the king, pondered the predicament of finding a suitable match for Sita. The condition he set involved lifting and stringing Shiva's bow, an impossible feat for ordinary suitors. Yet, the arrival of Rama, adorned with grace and strength, altered the course of events. Rama effortlessly lifted and strung the colossal bow, breaking it with a deafening sound. The crowd erupted in joy, and celestial blessings showered upon them. The city rejoiced, and the news reached Sita, who, oblivious to the events, had been struggling with her feelings for Rama. King Janaka, recognizing the divine alignment of events, sought Viswamitra's counsel on the next steps. Should he proceed with the wedding preparations or wait for Dasaratha's approval? Viswamitra advised Janaka to dispatch a formal invitation to Dasaratha, sealing the union between Rama and Sita. As preparations for the grand wedding began, an enthusiastic procession from Ayodhya embarked on the journey to Mithila. The landscape transformed into a spectacle of colors, sounds, and emotions as the citizens celebrated the union of Rama and Sita. Upon reaching Mithila, Dasaratha and his entourage were welcomed by Janaka. Rama, accompanied by Lakshmana, greeted his father with pride and reverence. The reunion marked a moment of immense joy for Dasaratha, who marveled at Rama's stature and grace. The narrative shifts to Kamban's detailed descriptions of the wedding preparations, the vibrant ambience, and the intricate rituals leading to the union of Rama and Sita. The couple's connection, rooted in their divine past, blossomed once again without the need for elaborate ceremonies. As the celebrations concluded, King Dasaratha, along with his sons and their new brides, embarked on the journey back to Ayodhya. Viswamitra, recognizing the significance of Rama and Lakshmana's achievements, bid farewell, retreating into the solitude of the Himalayas for contemplation. Chapter 3: Two Promises Renewed. In the hustle of his life, Dasaratha had likely never taken a close look at himself in the mirror. No extended self-examination or introspection had crossed his path. Then, one day he noticed the signs of aging: widening hair, eye wrinkles, trembling hands, and leg fatigue. The realization struck him that age had caught up. While Valmiki's original account puts Dasaratha at 60,000 years old, in our modern reckoning, whether it's 60, 70, or 80 years, the essence remains the same: he had ripened. In the solitude of his chamber, Dasaratha acknowledged, "One must know when to stop and not wait for death or senility. While my faculties are intact, let me seek retirement and rest. There's no sense in persisting with the same set of activities for thousands of years." Confronting this realization, he made a drastic decision. Summoning his aide, he instructed him to bring Samanthra, his chief minister, immediately. An announcement was sent out to assemble officers, public figures, sages, wise men, allies, kings, and relatives at the Hall of Assembly. He made it clear that Aswapati, his third wife Kakeyi's father, and Janaka need not be invited due to various reasons. Messengers were dispatched in all directions and the assembly hall filled up. Dasaratha, after routine ceremonies, expressed a deep feeling that the responsibility of the kingdom should be passed on to younger shoulders. He proposed handing over the kingdom to Rama, extolling his virtues of compassion, justice, courage, and equal consideration for all. The assembly joyously supported the idea. Dasaratha emphasized that he wanted Rama to be anointed as the emperor of Kosala the next day during an auspicious time. After securing the assembly's approval, he instructed preparations for the coronation ceremony. Streets were to be cleaned, decorated, and festivities were to take place throughout the capital. When Rama arrived, Dasaratha warmly received him, explained the plan, and expressed his need for rest. Rama accepted the proposal gracefully. Dasaratha, in a final meeting, advised Rama on pursuing a policy of absolute justice, humility, and soft speech while avoiding negative traits. As Rama returned to his palace and explained the situation to Sita, Samanthra knocked on his door once again. "Your dad wants to see you." "Again?" "I just left him." "He knows, but he wants you back." When Rama arrived, Dasaratha, looking troubled, said, "You might be surprised to be called again. I am anxious about your coronation, and my premonitions are troubling. I dream of comets and hear ominous screeches. My astrologers say my stars are not favorable now. I dreamt my birth star crashed and burned. We owe debts to sages, ancestors, and gods, and I believe I've paid mine. I've ruled with authority, earned love, and grown old. My physical body is ready for its end." Rama listened, respecting his father's words. Dasaratha repeated himself, expressing urgency due to astrological concerns. He emphasized the coronation happening the next day during Pushya star without delays. Rama promised to follow every instruction. Dasaratha explained the need for caution while Bharatha was away, as revealing the plan beforehand might cause complications. Rama, although sensing his father's hidden agenda, didn't reveal his realization. Unfortunately, Dasaratha's concern about Bharatha's reaction proved valid. Even though Bharatha was away, his mother Kakeyi, fueled by a devious maid named Kuni, learned about Rama's imminent coronation. Kuni, noticing celebrations, informed Kakeyi, who, worried about her future, decided to intervene. Kuni warned Kakeyi about the transient nature of beauty and youth, suggesting she act before it's too late. She revealed Dasaratha's plan to crown Rama and retire. Kakeyi, instead of being upset, celebrated the news, treating Rama and Bharatha equally. In her excitement, Kakeyi rewarded Kuni with a necklace and offered more for the good news. Kuni clarified that Rama, not Bharatha, was becoming king. Kakeyi, seemingly indifferent to the difference, proudly embraced Rama's kingship. "You, Rama's mother?" "Yes, don't you know that one in Rama's position should count 5 mothers? The one who has borne him, a stepmother, a father's sister, an elder brother's wife, and the wife of the guru, all these have equal rank as a mother. You understand why I feel happy about Rama? I adore him. I'm his mother as well as Kausalya is. And so make no mistake that I'm a fool and do not understand things. At which Kuni beat her brow with her palms with such force that Kakei said, "You have hurt yourself, a contusion big as my thumb. I'd be happy if I killed myself or had not been born at all, rather than see all the treachery that goes on in this world," wailed Kuni. "My sorrow now is for you, the doom that hangs over you. It rends my heart to see the carefree innocence of your heart, it reminds me of the little dove flitting at the jaws of a wildcat." All this talk prepared Kakei's mind to be receptive to what Kuni said next. "Your husband, the emperor, is very cunning. He is capable of great trickery, unsuspected by you. Great depths of trickery indeed, unbeknown to you, such depths as you cannot suspect even in your wildest dream. You and he are unequals. He was old enough to be your father when he asked for your hand, and your father refused the proposal, of course. But the old bridegroom was intoxicated with the spectacle of your beauty and youth, and was prepared to promise anything. He vowed to your father that he'd make the son born by you the heir to the throne. I was the only one who overheard it. No one else knows about it. Now when the time came, the old man advised Bharatha sweetly, 'Why don't you go and spend a few days with your grandfather? He has been asking you so long.' And forthwith got him and his inseparable brother Sathrugna out of the way. He would have sent you away too, but for the fact that he can't survive even a single day without your caresses. Your charms are still potent. You will have to save yourself with their aid before it's too late. Rama should not be enthroned tomorrow." "Why not?" "The king may have his reasons, and I see no difference between Rama and Bharatha. Do you know how people can change overnight? Tomorrow this time he will be a different Rama. His only aim will be to stay long and strong in his seat, and to achieve it he will remove all hurdles. The chief hurdle will be Bharatha, who may assert his claim any time and win it by public support. Rama will banish him or break him down or behead him. You will no longer be a queen, but an ex-queen of an ex-king, and will probably be reduced to the status of being the handmaid of the queen mother Kausalya." "Never. How would she dare?" cried Kakei involuntarily. "Let her try." "By this time tomorrow, it could happen, it's bound to happen sooner or later." Thus Kuni had brought Kakei to the brink of panic before spelling out the remedy. "Do you remember that Dasaratha was saved by you at one time, and there are 2 ancient promises of his to be fulfilled? Leave alone his promise to your father, you are not concerned with it. But hold on to the 2 promises given to you. Demand first the banishment of Rama to the forests for 14 years, and secondly the crowning of Bharatha in his place immediately. Impossible conditions, you must be drunk. No, quite practical, only go about it this way." Thus it happened that when Dasaratha sought Kakei's company, as was his wont, he did not find her in her chamber or the garden. A maid told him, "She is in the Kopagruha." Why there?" He had had a tiring day. He had had meetings again and again with his chief spiritual mentor, Vasishtha, and his chief minister, Samanthra, going into details of arrangements for the next day's ceremonials and festivities. "I will be the host for the whole city tomorrow," he had said, "let no one feel any want." Again and again he had mentioned how every home and street and building should be decorated and brightened, and how musicians, dancers, and entertainers should be ready at the assembly hall before the dawn, and how the state elephant and horses and chariots should move in the procession of the newly crowned king, and named the streets through which the procession should pass. People would love to see Rama on the throne and watch him in a procession. Every man, woman, and child must have a chance to look at him. Tell those conducting the procession to move slowly but not so slowly as to tire Rama. He had gone into every detail of the ceremonies. Exhausted in the evening he sought Kakei's company for relaxation. He did not like the idea of being received by Kakei in the Kopagruha, the room of anger, which was a part of a dwelling where one could retire to work off a bad mood, and when he went in he found her sprawling on the floor in semi-darkness, hair disheveled, the flowers she had been wearing torn off, her jewelry scattered, clad in indifferent clothes, and not noticing his arrival. He stooped down to ask softly, "Are you unwell?" She gave no answer to his question till he repeated it, and then answered dully, "Go, in perfect health, in every way. No physical sickness of any kind. I am sorry. I was delayed. I waited because I wanted to bring you the news personally. I knew it would make you happy indeed, and wanted to have the pleasure of watching your joy." Kakei condescended to mutter, "I knew it, I am not so stupid or deaf or blind as not to know what is going on." In that darkness and in the manner she had turned her face down, he had no means of judging the mood in which she spoke. It was difficult to be bending down so low, and he pleaded, "Why don't you get up and sit on that couch, so that I may sit beside you comfortably and listen to you?" You may seek all the comfort you want. I need none of it. Dust and rags are my lot hereafter. What makes you talk in this manner? Yes, in proper time, after you have fulfilled your promise to me. He had completely lost all courage to let her mention them. The sound of words such as promise, y vow, de fulfill, giboon shook his nerves. She looked up at him with tears in her eyes. He dared not look at her, he knew that he would be overwhelmed by her charms. When she said presently, leave me now. Go back to your Kausalya and feast and enjoy. Leave me to myself. It was not necessary for her to mention the bowl of poison again. He knew she meant it, and the prospect unnerved him. He said passionately, you know how much I love you. Please, come out of this room and this mood. You have promised me the granting of 2 boons, and you have sworn to it in the name of Rama, your darling son Rama. And now I'll speak out my mind. If you reject my demand, you will be the first of the Ikshvaha race, proud descendants of the sun god himself, to go back on a promise for the sake of convenience. She took breath and demanded, banish Rama to the forests for 14 years, and crown Bharatha and celebrate his enthronement with the arrangements you have already made. The king took time to understand the import of this. He got up to his feet muttering, are you out of your mind? Or joking or testing me? He moved away from her in search of the couch. He felt faint and blind, and groped about for a place to rest. He reclined on the couch and shut his eyes. She went on. Send a messenger to fetch Bharatha at once. He is quite far away. Give him time to come back. Tell Rama to take himself away. You are a demon, he whispered with his eyes still shut. Don't curse me, great king. I am not surprised that you find me less agreeable than Kausalya. Go on, go back to her and enjoy her company. I never asked you to come here and curse me. I retreated here just to avoid you. The night continued in this kind of talk. Dasaratha made a last effort at compromise. Very well, as you please. Let Bharatha be crowned. But let Rama also stay here. You know him. He will hurt no one. Let Bharatha be the king by all means, he is good. But please, I'll touch your feet, I don't mind prostrating before you, but let Rama stay here in his own home and not go away. How can he walk those rough forest paths and go on living in the open, unsheltered? He is not the soft infant you make him out to be. For 14 years, he must live away, where the bark of trees eat roots and leaves. Do you want him to die? Ah! The king screamed. She merely said, don't create a scene. Either you keep your word or you don't, that's all. The night spent itself in dead silence. Kakeyi stayed where she was on the floor, the king lay on the couch. No one interrupted them. It was customary not to disturb when the king was with one of his wives. Even servants kept themselves out. For all that, it was inevitable that the king should be sought out sooner or later. There were many matters on which he had to be consulted. His chief minister was at his wits' end. Where is the king? Where is the king? Was the constant question. The assembly hall was growing crowded with distinguished guests and the public who thronged in to watch the coronation. Rama, clad in simple silk robes after several ritual baths and purification ceremonies ordained by the chief priest, was also ready, waiting for the ceremonial dress. A little before the dawn, the holy fire was lit in which offerings were to be placed to please the gods in heaven. The priestly groups were already chanting the sacred mantras in unison. Music from many sources filled the air. The babble of the crowd was continuous. But in the inner ring where the chief minister and other immediate executives were assembled, there was concern. The king should have arrived by now. He must initiate the rites, he has to receive the rulers who will soon be arriving. The chief minister, Samanthra, got up to find out the reason for the delay. Things had to go according to a timetable in every detail so as to synchronize with the auspicious movement of the stars. And any single item delayed would throw the entire ceremony out of gear. Samanthra left the assembly hall and went in search of the king. He hesitated for a moment at the door of the Kopagruha, but parted the curtains, opened the door, and entered. The sight before him naturally startled him. Is His Majesty unwell? Asked the minister. Ask him yourself, replied Kakeyi. Are you also unwell? Has some food disagreed with you both? Asked the minister anxiously. The queen gave him no answer. The minister softly approached the couch and whispered, They are waiting for you. Are you ready to come to the assembly? The king stirred lightly and said, Tell them all to go back. It's all over. I have been trapped by a demon. Kakeyi now interposed to explain, the king has strained himself and has become incoherent. Go and send Rama. Rama arrived, expecting his stepmother to bless him before the ceremonies. At the sight of him, Dasaratha cried out, "Rama," and lapsed into speechlessness. His appearance and behavior made Rama anxious. Have I done something to upset him? Any lapse in my duties or performance? Kakeyi said, I'll speak on his behalf. He finds it difficult to say it. Your coronation will not take place today. And then she specified in unambiguous terms what she expected of him. She told all about the original vow and the circumstances that led to it. It is your duty to help your father fulfill his promise. Otherwise he will be damning himself in this and other worlds. You owe him a duty as his son. Rama took in the shock, absorbed it within himself, and said, I will carry out his wishes without question. Mother, be assured that I will not shirk. I have no interest in kingship and no attachments to such offices and no aversion to a forest existence. 14 years, she reminded him. Yes, 14 years. My only regret is that I have not been told this by my father himself. I would have felt honored if he had commanded me directly. Never mind, you can still please him by your action. Now leave at once, and he will feel happy that you have acted without embarrassing him. I want you to assure him that I am not in the least pained by this order. I will take your word as his. He saw his father's plight and moved closer. Kakeyi said, I will attend to him. Don't waste your time. You must leave without delay. That's his wish. Yes, I'll do so. I will send a messenger to fetch Bharatha without any delay. No, said Kakeyi. Do not concern yourself with Bharatha. I'll arrange everything. You make haste to depart first. She knew Bharatha's devotion to Rama and, uncertain as to how he would react, preferred to have Rama well out of the way before Bharatha should arrive. I'll take leave of my mother, Kausalya, and leave at once, said Rama. He threw another look at his speechless father and left. When Rama emerged from Dasaratha's palace, a crowd was waiting to follow him to the assembly hall. Looking at his face, they found no difference on it, but instead of ascending the chariot waiting for him, he set out on foot in the direction of his mother's palace. They followed him. Rama went up to his mother, Kausalya. She was weak with her fasts and austerities undertaken for the welfare of her son. She had been expecting him to arrive in full regalia but noted the ordinary silks which he wore and asked, Why are you not dressed yet for the coronation? My father has decided to crown Bharatha as the king, Rama said simply. Oh no. But why? Rama said, For my own good, my father has another command, it is for my progress and spiritual welfare. What is it? What can it be? Only that for twice 7 years, he wants me to go away and dwell in the forests, in the company of saints, and derive all the benefit therefrom. Kausalya broke down and sobbed. She wrung her hands, she felt faint in the depth of her bowels, sighed, started out to say things but swallowed back her words. She said bitterly, Oh, what a grand command from a father to a son. She asked, When do you have to go? What offense have you committed? Rama lifted his mother with his hands and said, My father's name is renowned for the steadfastness of his words. Would you rather that he spoke false? I am thrice blessed, to make my brother the king, to carry out my father's command, and to live in the forests. Do not let your heart grieve. I cannot say, Disobey your father, only let me go with you. I cannot live without you. Your place is beside your husband. You will have to comfort and nurse him. You must see that he is not sunk in sorrow by my exile. You cannot leave him now. Also, later, my father may want to engage himself in the performance of religious rites for his own welfare, and you will be needed at his side. After living in the forests, I will come back. After all, 14 years could pass like as many days. If you remember, my earlier stay in the forests with Viswamitra brought me countless blessings. This could be a similar opportunity again for me. So do not grieve. Kausalya now realized that Rama could not be stopped. She thought, let me at least beg my husband's help to hold him back from this resolve. However, when she reached the king's chamber and saw his condition, she realized the hopelessness of her mission. As he lay there stunned and silent, she understood that he must be in some dreadful dilemma. Unable to bear the spectacle of an inert, lifeless husband, she uttered a loud wail. Her cries were so loud that the guests in the assembly hall were startled, and requested sage Vasishtha to go up immediately and find out the cause. All kinds of music, chanting of hymns, prayers, laughter, and talk had filled the air, but this sudden intrusion of wailing destroyed the atmosphere of joy. Vasishtha hurried on. He found the king looking almost dead, Kakeyi sitting apart and watching the scene unperturbed, and Kausalya in a state of complete desperation and wretchedness. He quickly tried to estimate the situation. It would be no use questioning Kausalya. He turned to the calm and firm-looking Kakeyi. "Madam, what has happened?" "Nothing to warrant all this hullabaloo," Kakeyi said. "A situation like this ought to be ignored, a purely domestic matter. Do not be perturbed, sir. Go back to the assembly and tell them to be calm. A few changes in the arrangements, that's all. They will be told about it soon." "I want to know everything," said Vasishtha emphatically. She hastened to say, "Of course, you are our spiritual mentor and guide and you have every right to demand an explanation." While she spoke, Vasishtha saw Kausalya writhing and squirming and Dasaratha stirring. Dasaratha was evidently aware of what was going on in the room though unable to take part in the conversation. Lest either of them should begin to say things at cross purposes with her, Kakeyi said, "Your wisdom sustains us, sir. You will realize that nothing untoward has happened." Before I had even spoken fully, Rama understood and agreed. "It's the others who are making all this fuss. Rama has surrendered his right to the throne in favor of Bharatha and will stay away in the forest for 14 years. It's a thing that concerns primarily himself, and he has accepted it without a word, with much grace. But these others think," she swept her arm to indicate several hostile persons. Vasishtha understood, but still asked, "What is the cause of this change?" Kakeyi, whose good manners had reached their limit, now said, "If my husband will speak, he can, otherwise please wait. Just tell those assembled that there is a change in the program." "That we will see later," said Vasishtha. "First, we must revive the king." He stooped over the king lying on the couch, gently lifted his head, and helped him to sit up. "We need you, your majesty. You are our lord and captain. What is to happen if you are withdrawn like this?" The king went on mumbling, Kakeyi, Kakeyi. Vasishtha said, "The queen, Kakeyi, is most considerate. She will do nothing that goes against your wishes. I am sure she will be obliging and helpful. There has been no opportunity to discuss these questions with Her Majesty, our immediate concern being your welfare." Kakeyi listened passively to this hopeful statement by Vasishtha. Dasaratha, clutching at a straw of hope, asked, "Does she relent?" "If she does, Rama will be king, and as to my promise, let her ask for any other fulfillment she may think of." Relieved to find the king improving, Vasishtha turned to Kakeyi and appealed to her with all the humility he could muster in his tone. "Everything is in your hands. Please consider yourself as the benefactress of humanity. The whole world will be grateful to you for your help. Please reconsider." Kakeyi became emotional. "If one cannot depend on the promise of a famous king," she hissed, "life is not worth living. After all, I have done nothing more than ask for the fulfillment of his own voluntary promise, and you talk as if I had committed a crime. You do not realize the evil consequences of your act, nor are you willing to listen and understand when we try to explain." "Your obstinacy is inhuman," said Vasishtha. When she appeared unaffected, he went on, "The king's tongue never uttered the words of exile. You have passed this on as his command, knowing that Rama would never question the truth of it. You have used your position as his favorite queen." No matter how he argued and persuaded, Kakeyi held her ground with cynical calm. "Oh, Guruji, you too talk like these ignorant, self-centered people who find fault with me without understanding." Finally, the king burst out, "Go, devilish one, you ordered him into exile. Is he gone? In seeking you as a mate, I sought my death. Those cherry-red lips I thought sustained me, but they have only been a source of the deadliest poison to finish me off now. This sage be my witness. You are no longer my wife, and your son shall not be entitled to cremate me when I die." Kausalya, when she saw her husband's plight, was most moved and tried to comfort him in her own way. Concealing her own misery at the prospect of Rama's exile, she told her husband clearly, "If you do not maintain the integrity and truth of your own words, and now try to hold Rama back, the world will not accept it. Try to lessen your attachment to Rama and calm yourself." The king was not appeased by her advice. "The holy water from Ganga brought for ablution during the coronation will now serve me for my last drink. The holy fire raised will serve to light my funeral pyre. Rama, Rama, don't go. I take back my word to Kakeyi. How can I bear to see you go? I will not survive your departure. If I lived after your departure, what would be the difference between me and that monster in wife's shape, Kakeyi?" Thus and in many other ways, Dasaratha lamented. Vasishtha said, "Do not grieve. I will see that your son is persuaded to stay back." Dasaratha had become so weakened in will that he clung to this hope when he saw the sage depart. Kausalya comforted the king by saying, "It is quite likely Vasishtha will come back with Rama." She tenderly lifted him, nursed him, and stroked his head and shoulder. He kept repeating, "Will Rama come? When? How terrible that Kaikeyi, whom I loved so much, should contrive my death so that she may place Bharatha on the throne." Silence for a while, but once again all his lamentations and fears would return redoubled. "Kausalya, my dearest wife, listen. Rama will not change his aim but definitely go away and my life will end. You know why? It's an old story. Once while I was hunting in a forest, I heard the gurgling of water, the noise an elephant makes when drinking water. I shot an arrow in that direction and at once heard a human cry in agony. I went up and found that I had shot at a young boy. He had been filling his pitcher, and water rushing into it had created the noise. The boy was dying and told me that his old parents, eyeless, were not far away. He had tended them, carrying them about on his back. They died on hearing of this tragedy, after cursing the man who had killed their son to suffer a similar fate. And so that is going to be my fate." When Rama's exile became known, the kings and commoners assembled at the hall broke down and wept, so did the religious heads and ascetics. Men and women wept aloud, the parrots in their cages wept, the cats in people's homes, the infants in their cradles, the cows and calves. Flowers that had just bloomed wilted away. The water birds, the elephants, the chargers that drew chariots, all broke down and lamented like Dasaratha himself, unable to bear the pang of separation from Rama. What a moment ago had been a world of festivities had become one of mourning. Crowds thronged hither and thither, stood in knots at street corners, watched the portals of the palace, speculating and commenting. "Kaikeyi, the red-lipped prostitute," they said. "We never suspected that our king was so lost in infatuation. We thought that the red-lipped woman was our queen, but she has shown her true nature, using her flesh to bait a senile male who has sought his own ruin and thereby the ruin of our country. Let Kaikeyi try and rule this country with her son, there will be none left to rule over, we will all kill ourselves or move out with Rama. Ah, unfortunate earth not destined to have Rama as your overlord. What is Lakshmana doing? How will he stand this separation? What justification can there be for breaking a promise made to Rama? Strange act of justice this. The world has suddenly gone mad." Lakshmana, upon learning of the events, was stirred like fire about to engulf the earth on doomsday. He exclaimed, "Food meant for the lion is being given to the street puppy, such are the plans of Kaikeyi with her innocent eyes." He armed himself with sword and bow, donned his battle attire, and roamed the streets aggressively, proclaiming, "Rama will be crowned, and anyone opposing will be annihilated. Let the whole world come, I'll destroy anyone who stands in the way. I'll seize the crown and won't rest until I place it on Rama's head. I'll achieve this today no matter what. If the gods, demons, good people, and bad people oppose me, I won't yield to the wishes of a mere woman." Rama, hearing Lakshmana's challenges and seeing his fiery demeanor, turned back on his way to bid farewell to his stepmother Sumitra. He confronted Lakshmana, asking why he was dressed for battle and so enraged. Lakshmana replied, "If not now, when else should I be angry? I cannot tolerate going back on the promise of your rightful place. I won't let the malicious desires of that black-hearted woman come true. I'll resist until I perish." Rama acknowledged his mistake and urged Lakshmana to control his anger. Lakshmana insisted, "I'll be the fate to overpower fate itself. Whoever opposes my aim will be destroyed." Rama cautioned against harming innocent family members and suggested they accept fate. Lakshmana, fueled by martial arrogance, declared, "I'll alter fate itself if necessary," vowing to destroy anyone opposing his mission. Upon hearing this, Rama persuaded Lakshmana to calm down, emphasizing the futility of blind anger. Lakshmana, realizing the ineffectiveness of his rage, relaxed, muttering about the worthlessness of his strength. Later, Rama and Lakshmana bid farewell to Sumitra, who, like others, tried to dissuade Rama from leaving. A maid sent by Kaikeyi arrived with garments made of tree barks for Rama to change quickly. Lakshmana ordered another set for himself, changed into coarse bark, and fiercely asserted his commitment to Rama's cause. Rama convinced Lakshmana to let go of his anger, and they proceeded to bid farewell to Sita, who was already dressed in humble attire. Sita expressed her determination to accompany Rama, despite his attempts to dissuade her. Rama, disturbed by the sudden change in her appearance, argued against her joining him in exile. Sita insisted on being with Rama, stating that her existence had meaning only when she was with him. Eventually, Rama accepted her decision, and the three emerged in their austere garb as ordered by Kaikeyi. As they stepped out, a large crowd gathered, weeping at the sight. Vasishtha arrived urgently, informing Rama that the king desired him to stay. However, Rama clarified that it was Kakeyi's order, not the king's desire, prompting anticipation in the crowd for a possible last-minute change in the situation. Rama didn't let him continue talking about Kakeyi and interrupted, saying, "Forgive me. I have a duty to obey her as well, given her authority from my father and his promise to her. How can it be any different now?" Vasishtha expressed concern that the king, grieving deeply over Rama's departure, might not survive the separation. Rama urged Vasishtha to comfort his father and help him understand the present situation and the duty Rama felt as his son to keep his word. Rama emphasized that once a word is given, it's like an arrow moving forward and irreversible. With a deep bow, he signaled that he had nothing more to add. As Rama took a step, the entire crowd followed, stopping when he stopped. Despite the vastness of the crowd, a heavy silence prevailed, accompanied by tears in several eyes. Rama informed those nearby that he was taking leave, and as he brought his palms together in a salutation, they reciprocated, moving with him. The crowd surrounded Rama, Sita, and Lakshmana, creating a suffocating atmosphere. Sumantra, arriving in a chariot, suggested they board to ease Sita's passage through the crowd. Rama agreed, and as they moved slowly, Lakshmana humorously remarked that at least Kakeyi hadn't specified their speed. They reached the banks of the river Sarayo and camped for the night. The citizens, following them, spread out on the sand. After midnight, Rama instructed Sumantra to leave and inform his father that he was safe. During the night, Rama, Sita, and Lakshmana silently rowed away to a farther point on the river and crossed it. At the palace, Dasaratha lay motionless, intermittently asking about Rama. Sumantra, upon returning, described Rama's departure, leading to the king's shock and eventual death. Vasishtha urgently convened a council to decide on preserving the king's body until Bharatha could return for the funeral. 2 messengers were dispatched to convey the urgent message to Bharatha. Upon receiving the sealed message, Bharatha eagerly prepared to return to Ayodhya without consulting the palace astrologer. When he neared Ayodhya, he noticed the unusual silence and lack of activity. He went directly to Dasaratha's palace, only to find it devoid of life. Kakeyi calmly informed him of his father's passing and Rama's exile. Bharatha, devastated and angered, accused Kakeyi of being heartless and cunning. He expressed regret that she deserved to die for her actions and promised not to harm her, sparing her due to Rama's disdain for such deeds. He left without saying another word and went crying to Kausalya's palace, Rama's mother. She welcomed him warmly, though she had doubts about Bharatha's innocence. Bharatha threw himself before her, lamenting, "Where should I look for my father? When will I see my brother again? Have the fates kept me away in my grandfather's house just so I can suffer this pain?" As he continued expressing his sorrow and determination to end his life rather than bear the burden of separation and disgrace, Kausalya realized Bharatha was innocent. She asked, "So, you were unaware of your mother's evil plans?" Enraged by the question, Bharatha burst into self-condemnation, listing grave sins for those condemned to hell, swearing that he knew nothing of his mother's schemes. Vasishtha arrived, and Bharatha, asking about his father, was led to where the king's body was kept. Vasishtha informed him that it was time for the funeral rites. During the ceremonies, Bharatha, ready to light the pyre, was stopped by Vasishtha, who remembered Dasaratha's last disowning of Kakeyi and her son. He delicately explained the situation to Bharatha, who withdrew with bitter reflections. After mourning for 5 days, ministers and Vasishtha approached Bharatha, requesting him to become the king. He refused and declared, "I am determined to seek Rama and beg him to return." He commanded all citizens and the army to be ready to accompany him to the forest. A massive crowd, including citizens, the army, horses, elephants, women, and children, set out towards Chitrakuta where Rama was camping. Bharatha, wearing a garment made of tree bark, insisted on walking, emulating Rama's penance. As they neared Chitrakuta, Lakshmana, guarding Rama, noticed the approaching crowd and, thinking it was an army sent to prevent Rama from reclaiming the kingdom, threatened to destroy them. However, Bharatha left his followers and approached Rama alone, with tears in his eyes, asking for forgiveness. When Rama learned of his father's death, he broke down. After the funeral rites, Bharatha proposed Rama's return, but Rama declined, stating that Bharatha was the rightful king. A philosophical debate ensued, with both asserting the other's right to the kingdom. The gods intervened, advising Bharatha to rule on Rama's behalf for 14 years. Bharatha, vowing to live in the forest with Rama, returned to Ayodhya, ruling as a regent with Rama's sandals symbolizing the throne. Chapter 4 Encounters in Exile. After Bharatha left, Rama decided to move away from Chitrakuta, fearing that staying close to Ayodhya might lead people to persuade him to return home. He believed such encounters would undermine the value of his renunciation. Despite Lakshmana building a beautiful hut at Chitrakuta, Rama moved deeper into the forests. During their journey, they visited various sages in ashrams, including Athri and Anusuya. Anusuya gifted her jewelry and clothes to Sita. On the advice of sage Agastya, Rama proceeded to Dandaka forest and then to Panchvati. There, they encountered Jatayu, a divine eagle, who revealed his connection with Dasaratha and pledged to protect Rama and Sita during their stay. Arriving at the Godavari river, enchanted by the surroundings, Rama, Lakshmana, and Sita continued to Panchvati. Lakshmana, skilled in construction, had already built a home for them with clay, thatch, leaves, and wood. Despite the idyllic setting, Rama remained focused on his main purpose, to confront and destroy the Asuras, the fiends causing suffering in the area. One evening, a beautiful damsel named Kamavali appeared at their doorstep. Rama, cautious, questioned her origin and purpose. She revealed herself as Ravana's sister but expressed her desire to reject her demoniac lineage and seek the company of saints. She requested Rama's help. Rama, maintaining calmness, pointed out their differences in caste and species, but Kamavali persisted, claiming she had transcended her class. Rama, understanding her misguided intentions, gently refused her proposal. Kamavali, undeterred, argued for a Gandharv-style marriage, emphasizing its benefits. Amused by her proposal, Rama remarked on the unexpected outcomes of his penance. Sita's arrival interrupted their conversation. Kamavali, stunned by Sita's beauty, realized the futility of her pursuit. She questioned Sita's identity, assuming she was another woman accompanying Rama. Despite Kamavali's warnings, Rama remained firm, recognizing Sita as his wife. Unaware of Kamavali's true form as the Rakshasa Sorpanaka, Rama continued his journey in Panchvati, determined to fulfill his purpose of encountering and defeating the Asuras in the region. Sorpanaka, in a fit of anger, confronted Sita and Rama, claiming she was engaged in a private talk with her lover. Sita sought refuge in Rama's arms, further provoking Sorpanaka. Rama, realizing the potential danger, advised her to leave before Lakshmana noticed. Sorpanaka, frustrated, argued about her desirability and accused Sita of being a treacherous sorceress. Unmoved, Rama walked away with Sita. Sorpanaka, distressed, retreated to her lair but suffered lovesickness and hallucinations of Rama. The next day, Sorpanaka devised a plan to win Rama's affection by removing Sita. She followed Sita stealthily but was unaware that Lakshmana was watching. Lakshmana intervened, mutilating Sorpanaka to spare her life. When Rama returned, Sorpanaka lamented her fate and accused Rama and Lakshmana of treachery. Rama questioned her injuries, not her identity, and she reminded him of their encounter. Rama, understanding the situation, asked Lakshmana about the incident. Sorpanaka justified her actions, considering Rama her beloved. Rama advised her to leave before her words caused more harm. Sorpanaka got angry, confronted Sita and Rama, and ended up getting injured by Lakshmana. She blamed Rama and Lakshmana for her suffering, claiming she loved Rama. Rama advised her to leave to avoid more trouble. Sorpanaka tried once more to win Rama's love, promising him the support of her powerful brother Ravana. She argued that her brother could forgive Rama and make him the ruler of many worlds if they pretended to be married. Sorpanaka even offered to teach Rama magical arts and tricks to defeat his enemies. However, Rama firmly rejected her advances, stating that his mission was to eliminate the demon class. Sorpanaka, undeterred, continued to plead with Rama, insisting that she could regain her beauty through magic. Rama explained his mission of defeating demons like her and shared his previous accomplishments. Instead of dissuading her, this fueled Sorpanaka's idea of becoming Rama's ally against the demons. Sorpanaka proposed that Rama marry her, and she would help him defeat the demons. Even if Rama couldn't give up Sita, she suggested becoming a third partner in their fight. Lakshmana got furious, and Rama agreed that if Sorpanaka persisted, she might need to be dealt with more severely. Upon hearing this, Sorpanaka quickly left, promising to return with a more powerful ally named Kara. Kara, one of Ravana's stepbrothers, organized an army to avenge Sorpanaka's injuries. Kara's commanders marched towards Rama's cottage, guided by Sorpanaka. Rama, prepared for battle, defended himself against the demon army. With swift and precise arrow strikes, Rama defeated the attackers, causing Sorpanaka to flee. Sorpanaka reported her defeat to Kara, who then gathered a larger army of Rakshasas to confront Rama at Panchvati. They surrounded Rama's ashram, intending to eliminate him. However, Rama, with his exceptional combat skills, defeated Kara and his allies once again. Sorpanaka, witnessing the destruction, fled to Lanka to inform her brother Ravana about the defeat of Kara and his army. Chapter 5. The Grand Tormentor. In the grand hall of his palace, Ravana, the ruler of many worlds, held court surrounded by numerous courtiers and attendants. Subjugated kings stood with hands raised in perpetual salutation, and beautiful women from various realms entertained him with songs and dances. Even gods served menial tasks in his court, with Vayu, the god of wind, cleaning, and Yama, the god of death, announcing the time. Suddenly, Sorpanaka entered the scene, screaming for attention. The entire city gathered as she fell before Ravana, describing the attack she suffered. Ravana, furious, demanded an explanation for her injuries. Sorpanaka shared her encounter with Rama, praising his unmatched strength and describing Sita's beauty in detail. Ravana, captivated by the image painted by Sorpanaka, became infatuated with Sita. Sorpanaka suggested capturing Sita and surrendering Rama to her. Unsettled by his newfound obsession, Ravana left the assembly, ignoring the praises of his court. He retreated to his private chamber, unable to rid his mind of Sita's image. Tormented and enraged, he found his surroundings unbearable and sought solace in the woods. Ravana's obsessions affected the weather, with him commanding changes in seasons. Despite these attempts to cool himself, Ravana remained consumed by his hopeless love for Sita. Desperate, he ordered his messengers to bring down the moon for its cool moisture. However, even this failed to provide relief, and Ravana's insatiable longing for Sita continued to torment him. When the sudden end of the night brought confusion to the world, lovers found themselves exposed in daylight, and those intoxicated with wine were disoriented. Birds stirred in their nests, lamps faded, and astronomers were caught off guard. Even roosters remained silent, unable to adjust. Ravana, the powerful ruler, questioned the reality of the sunrise and ordered changes to the natural order, causing chaos and suffering. Unconvinced that it was the sun, Ravana doubted his own vision. Sorpanaka, summoned by Ravana, claimed it was Rama, not Sita, before them. Ravana, tormented by his love for Sita, sought reassurance from Sorpanaka, who fueled his determination to pursue Sita. Encouraged by Sorpanaka's words, Ravana took practical steps to achieve his goal. He consulted with advisors, summoned his chariot, and flew to meet his uncle Maricha. Ravana lamented the shame brought upon their race by Rama, who had mutilated his sister Sorpanaka. Ravana expressed his intent to take revenge by snatching Sita away. Maricha, attempting to live a virtuous life, resisted Ravana's immoral plan. Ravana insisted on teaching Rama a lesson by taking Sita. Despite Maricha's objections, Ravana sought his help in the plan. Maricha, concerned about Ravana's self-destructive path, warned against such actions and urged him to save their race. Ravana, dismissing Maricha's advice, boasted of his strength and claimed superiority over Rama. Maricha, aware of Rama's capabilities, warned Ravana of the consequences. Ravana, angered by Maricha's praise of Rama, insisted on pursuing his plan, emphasizing his past feats and strength. The conversation between Ravana and Maricha revealed Ravana's determination to seize Sita, despite the moral objections raised by Maricha. The stage was set for the unfolding of Ravana's ill-fated plan. Enough of your talk. If you persist, I'll deal with you myself, no need for your help. Maricha, concerned for Ravana's well-being, tried to express goodwill, wanting him to live long and be happy. Ravana, pleased by the sentiment, instructed Maricha to fetch Sita quickly. Despite Ravana's optimism, Maricha knew the consequences of this plan and reluctantly agreed to carry it out, assuming the form of a golden deer. As Maricha approached Panchvati in the guise of the golden deer, it caught the attention of Sita. She urged Rama to capture it for her. Unaware of the potential danger, Rama eagerly pursued the elusive deer, dismissing Lakshmana's caution. Sita, impatient and insistent, grew frustrated with the debate and wanted the golden deer as a pet. Lakshmana, still skeptical, warned against pursuing the mysterious creature. Rama, however, insisted on capturing it for Sita. As the chase unfolded, Rama realized he was deceived and shot an arrow at the deer, which turned out to be Maricha. Before dying, Maricha mimicked Rama's voice to create confusion. Back at the cottage, Sita heard the cries and anxiously urged Lakshmana to save Rama. Lakshmana, torn between obeying Sita and respecting Rama's command, ultimately left to help Rama, fearing Sita might harm herself if he didn't. Ravana, observing the events, seized the opportunity to approach Sita in disguise as an old hermit. Sita, unaware of Ravana's true identity, welcomed him into the cottage. Ravana, captivated by Sita's beauty, fantasized about making her his queen. He pretended to be an aged hermit but was lost in his own thoughts of possessing Sita. As Sita inquired about his presence in the forest, Ravana boasted about his might and divine connections, weaving a grandiose tale to impress her. Why would someone like you, who seems saintly, choose to live in a place like that ruled by demons? Wouldn't you rather be in a city or a forest where good people reside? Well, those demons are not as bad as they are made out to be. The demon clan is misunderstood. They are kind and enlightened, especially towards ascetics like me. Living among demons might turn someone into one, Sita innocently remarked. Asuras can be good to those who are good to them. Since they are the most powerful beings, it's wise to live in harmony with them, Ravana explained. But their time is running out. My husband's mission is to rid the world of them and bring peace, Sita asserted. No human can dare to do that. It's like a rabbit trying to take down a herd of elephants, Ravana scoffed. But my lord has defeated Kara, Dashana, Virata, and others single-handedly, Sita defended. Those were weak opponents. Wait until he faces mighty Ravana with 20 shoulders. But having more shoulders doesn't make you invincible. Even a two-shouldered man like Parasurama once defeated Ravana, Sita argued. This statement angered Ravana, revealing his true nature. Sita, sensing the change, felt puzzled. Ravana then confessed his desire for Sita and offered her a position greater than that of a goddess if she became his queen. Sita, terrified, urged him to run before Rama arrived. Ignoring Sita's plea, Ravana attempted to seize her. Remembering a curse, he decided to take her away in his chariot instead. Sita resisted, cursed Ravana, and cried for help. Jatayu, a great eagle and a friend of Sita's family, intervened to save her. Ravana dismissed Jatayu's warnings and engaged in a battle. Eventually, Ravana used a powerful sword, Chandrahasa, to defeat Jatayu, who managed to share crucial information about Sita's abduction with Rama and Lakshmana before his death. Chapter 6 Valley. Sometimes even the best among us make mistakes or do things that seem morally questionable, leaving us perplexed. Rama, an ideal man with a strong sense of justice, once acted in a way that stirred controversy. He shot and killed a creature without any apparent threat, raising questions about his actions. The characters involved in this chapter are Vali, Sugriva, Hanuman, and Rama. The setting is the mountainous forest regions of Kiskinda, a kingdom inhabited by monkeys. In the Ramayana, beings from God's creation, including bears, eagles, and humans like Lakshmana, play significant roles. Kiskinda, ruled by a monkey race, is populated by intelligent, strong, and noble beings of godly parentage. In his quest to find Sita, Rama reached the frontiers of Kiskinda, where he was observed by Hanuman, Sugriva's ally. Hanuman, disguised as a scholar, approached Rama and Lakshmana, noting their noble appearance and armed attire. Unable to contain his curiosity, Hanuman revealed his identity, welcomed them on behalf of Sugriva, and offered to guide them to their chief. Rama, recognizing Hanuman's hidden powers, agreed to meet Sugriva. Lakshmana shared their story with Hanuman, who then prostrated before Rama. Sugriva later joined them, and Rama felt a significant connection with him. Sugriva, sensing Rama's compassion, briefly mentioned his own challenges, hinting at exile and privations. When Rama inquired about Sugriva's losses, he remained silent, and Hanuman stepped forward to share his story. Sugriva's story. Thanks to Shiva's blessings, Vali, Sugriva's brother, possesses incredible strength. In ancient times, during the churning of the ocean to obtain nectar, Vala single-handedly turned the churning rod, Mount Meru, helping the gods acquire the elixir. As a reward, Vala gained immeasurable strength and unique abilities. He could cross 7 oceans in one stride and had more energy than the 5 natural elements. Vali was the ruler of Kiskinda, a kingdom of intelligent and noble beings resembling monkeys. His younger brother Sugriva respected him, and the kingdom prospered under Vala's rule. However, a demon named Mayavi disrupted their peace. Vala pursued Mayavi into a subterranean passage, instructing Sugriva to wait for his return. But Vala did not reappear for 28 months. Distraught, Sugriva, with the advice of his counselors, assumed Vala's absence meant he was dead and took over as the ruler. However, Vali eventually emerged victorious, angered by the mountains blocking his exit. Accusing Sugriva of trying to entomb him, Vala violently attacked his brother in the court, forcing Sugriva to flee. Sugriva sought refuge on Mount Mathanga, where Vala couldn't harm him due to a curse laid by sage Mathanga. Vali, after reclaiming his authority, took Sugriva's wife for himself. Hearing this, Rama felt compassion for Sugriva and offered help. Hanuman, having sensed Rama's identity as Vishnu, affirmed Rama's capabilities and suggested testing his archery. Rama, demonstrating his prowess, shot an arrow through 7 colossal trees and even through the 7 worlds and seas. Convinced of Rama's divine power, Sugriva humbly accepted his presence. While on the mountain, Rama noticed a pile of bones, and Sugriva explained its origin. Dundabai's story. These bones belonged to a powerful demon named Dundabai who took the form of a buffalo. He approached Vishnu expressing a desire for war. Vishnu redirected him to Shiva who, in turn, directed him to Indra. Indra advised Dundabai to seek Vali on earth, claiming he was the only one capable of fulfilling his wish. Following this advice, Dundabai arrived on earth, challenging Vali with foul language. Vali and Dundabai engaged in a year-long relentless battle. Eventually, Vala defeated Dundabai by tearing off his horn, killing him. Vala then tossed Dundabai's carcass, which fell on the spot where sage Mathanga was performing sacred rites. The sage cursed Vala for defiling the prayer ground. Upon Rama's order, Lakshmana kicked the bones out of sight, restoring the sanctity of the spot. Sugriva, noticing Rama's grief over Sita's lost ornaments, shared a bundle of jewelry that Sita had dropped during her abduction. Overwhelmed with sorrow, Rama vowed to rescue her. Sugriva revealed their plan to search for Sita, and a war council was formed. On their way, Rama noticed a pile of bones, and Sugriva explained their origin. Rama then addressed Sugriva, suggesting he call Vala for a fight, with Rama hidden to intervene at the right moment. Sugriva, trusting Rama, challenged Vali, initiating a fierce confrontation. During the battle, Sugriva faced severe beating from Vali, prompting him to seek Rama's help. Rama hesitated, fearing he might harm Sugriva accidentally. He advised Sugriva to wear a wild creeper as a garland for identification and return to the fight. As the clash between Vali and Sugriva resumed, Rama whispered to Lakshmana, expressing awe at Vala's extraordinary power. Lakshmana, however, questioned their involvement in the monkey brothers' conflict. Despite Lakshmana's concerns, the battle between Vali and Sugriva intensified, reaching a point where Sugriva was on the verge of defeat. Seeking Rama's assistance, Sugriva approached him, leading to a critical moment in the conflict. Rama emerged from his hiding spot, approached the dying Vali, and calmly began to explain, "When you disappeared underground chasing Mayavi, your brother anxiously waited for you. Eventually, he decided to follow your path to offer help, but the court advisors convinced him to act as a temporary ruler in your absence. When you returned, a misunderstanding led you to attack him in front of others, despite his relief and joy at seeing you. You even assaulted him when he sought forgiveness, and you persisted, knowing he was innocent. You spared him only because you feared Mathanga's hill, not out of brotherly concern. Even now, you would have killed him if not for my arrow. Additionally, you violated his wife's honor, disregarding the basic duty to protect a helpless woman, especially as a brother's spouse. I intervened to help Sugriva, who sought my friendship and assistance." Vali argued, "You misunderstand our society. In our world, the norms of marriage and human relationships don't apply. We have absolute freedom in our sexual pursuits and habits, as decreed by Brahma. Your human laws don't govern us." Rama responded, "I am aware of your intelligence, not misled by your appearance as a monkey. You were born of the chief of gods, and you possess knowledge of right and wrong. Despite your understanding, you committed an error. Your profound strength, achieved through meditation, subjects you to higher standards of conduct." Vala questioned Rama's choice to shoot him from hiding instead of facing him directly. Lakshmana explained that Rama had made a prior vow to support Sugriva, and shooting unseen avoided potential confusion. Vali, realizing the inner strength of Lakshmana's explanation, sought forgiveness for his errors and thanked Rama for enlightening him. He requested mercy for Sugriva in case of any weakness and suggested that Hanuman could serve Rama. Vala turned to Sugriva, advising him not to grieve and acknowledging Rama's divine intervention. Vali handed Sugriva to Rama as his successor and offered guidance on ruling. Tara and Angatha, Vala's wife and son, mourned Vala's death, but Rama initiated Sugriva's coronation as the new leader. Angatha became the second in command. Chapter 7. When the rain ceased. Sugriva's coronation was marked by elaborate rituals and festivities. Dressed in royal attire and adorned with a dazzling crown, Sugriva approached Rama, expressing deep gratitude, "I am ready to serve you. What is your command?" Rama, in a gesture of warmth, embraced Sugriva and advised him as a senior, to surround yourself with individuals of integrity, courage, and judgment. Govern your subjects with adherence to established codes of conduct. He emphasized the importance of gentleness in speech even in dealing with enemies. Sugriva extended an invitation to Rama to stay as a guest in the capital, but Rama declined, citing his vow to live in the forest for 14 years. He instructed Sugriva to focus on his duties as a king and promised to return after the rainy season. During the rainy months, Rama, Lakshmana, and Hanuman took refuge in an ashram constructed by Lakshmana. The relentless downpour, dampness, and gloom affected Rama's spirits. He felt a profound sense of isolation and guilt for not actively seeking Sita. As the rains subsided, nature revived, and Rama's mood improved. Lakshmana reassured Rama, urging him not to lose hope. With the end of the rainy season, Rama decided it was time to address Sugriva's delay in fulfilling his promise. Lakshmana, armed and determined, left for Kiskinda. Observing his serious demeanor, the residents of Kiskinda barricaded the gates in fear. Lakshmana forcefully opened the gates, creating chaos. Sugriva's son, Angatha, informed Sugriva about Lakshmana's arrival and his intense mood. Tara, Sugriva's wife, decided to confront Lakshmana. She positioned herself at the palace threshold, ensuring a direct encounter. Facing Tara's group of women, Lakshmana felt a surge of emotions, reminiscent of his familial bonds. Tara diplomatically addressed Lakshmana, expressing gratitude for his visit but seeking clarity on his intentions. Relieved by Tara's words, Lakshmana explained that he was sent to inquire about Sugriva's delayed action in mobilizing an army. Tara assured him that Sugriva had dispatched messengers to gather troops and was awaiting their return. Hanuman, humble and sincere, corroborated Tara's explanation. Lakshmana, appeased, agreed to enter the palace. Sugriva, realizing his negligence, vowed to abstain from intoxicants and prepared to receive Lakshmana. Despite initial tension, a festive atmosphere was created, with Sugriva extending warm hospitality. Lakshmana, however, remained focused on the primary goal, starting the search for Sita without delay. Sugriva, feeling remorseful, declared his commitment to the cause and vowed to avoid any further indulgence. He assured Rama of his dedication and promised to bring the armies to Rama's ashram once they were ready. Upon Sugriva's departure, Rama welcomed him warmly, acknowledging his determination to help. Sugriva expressed regret for his past actions and vowed to fulfill his duty. Rama assured Sugriva that the prolonged rainy season had delayed their expectations. Sugriva left with renewed determination, promising to return with the armies. Rama received a detailed report from Lakshmana about the situation in Kiskinda. In time, different groups, led by their leaders, arrived in the valley. To estimate their numbers, Sugriva suggested Rama stand on an elevation to observe. He ordered commanders to parade their units one by one from north to south. As Rama watched, he felt hopeful seeing the vast army raising a cloud of dust with their march. He told Lakshmana that counting them here was futile and now, confident in their ability to search and fight, he urged Sugriva to act. Sugriva assigned tasks to commanders, directing Hanuman and Angatha to head south, an important mission. Before Hanuman left, Sugriva provided detailed instructions for searching various locations. Rama, in private, described Sita's unique features to Hanuman for identification. He emphasized her glowing red toenails, incomparable feet, and other distinct characteristics. Rama also shared their past conversations, instructing Hanuman to approach her and convey a ring if found. Hanuman and Angatha, leading a selected army, traversed mountains and rivers, searching suspected hiding spots. In their desperation, they entered a cavern and became lost in complete darkness. Hanuman's extraordinary powers guided them to an enchanting underground city. Though perfect, it was devoid of inhabitants except for a woman, initially mistaken for Sita. Hanuman, realizing she didn't match Rama's descriptions, learned she was a goddess sentenced to solitude for past mistakes. Hanuman, using his powers, liberated her and returned to the surface. Continuing southward, the group reached the southernmost mountain peak, gazing at the vast ocean. Feeling despondent after exceeding the time limit, Angatha contemplated renouncing the world or ending their lives. Jambavan, a wise elder, advised Angatha to return and truthfully report to Rama. Meanwhile, Hanuman encouraged the group not to despair, suggesting there were still unexplored regions. Suddenly, they encountered Sampathi, Jataya's elder brother, who shared his story, confirming that Sita was taken south to Lanka. He encouraged them to cross the sea and assured them of success. Sampathi then transformed into a majestic bird and departed, leaving the group with renewed determination. After Sampathi departed, they huddled together, pondering the seemingly impossible task of crossing the sea. Jambavan, once again, addressed the group, singling out Hanuman as the one capable of crossing the sea and delivering a message of hope to Sita. He explained that Hanuman was unaware of his true abilities due to a curse from his father, obscuring the depth of his knowledge and powers. Jambavan urged Hanuman to overcome this delusion and reminded him of his potential to grow to any size, even surpassing Vishnu. With the ability to stride across the world, Hanuman could reach Lanka, guided by his devotion to Rama. Hanuman, humbled by Jambavan's words, felt empowered and ready to face any challenge. He expressed his determination to conquer the entire race of demons if needed to reunite with his revered goddess mother. The vast expanse of the ocean seemed insignificant in comparison. Hanuman acknowledged the grace bestowed upon him and the command of Rama as wings that would carry him anywhere. With these words, he assumed a colossal stature, making the towering Mahendra mountain appear like a mere pebble at his feet. Standing there, he gazed southward, preparing to step across the ocean to reach Lanka at the right moment. Chapter 8, Memento from Rama. Hanuman landed on the soil of Lanka, shrinking himself to an unnoticeable size to begin his search for Sita. He carefully examined every building in the city, discovering houses where Ravana had kept women from various worlds. These women, once favored by Ravana, now sat longing for his return. Entering an elaborate mansion, Hanuman thought he might have found Sita. However, upon closer inspection, he realized it was Mandodari, Ravana's wife. Relieved, he moved on to Ravana's palace, ensuring Sita was not imprisoned there. Exhausting his search in buildings, Hanuman decided to explore the woods and gardens, eventually reaching Asoka Vana. Upon a samsupa tree, Hanuman spotted Sita amidst Rakshasa women in a distressing state. Confirming her identity through Rama's description, Hanuman's heart ached to see her unkempt and in anguish. The Rakshasa women tormented Sita, but she bravely faced them, rejecting Ravana's advances. When Ravana arrived, attempting to woo Sita, she remained resolute, prompting Ravana to leave in a rage, leaving the fierce women to break her will. As they menaced her, Sita cried out to Rama, contemplating ending her life. Hanuman, appearing before her, quickly reassured her of his identity, narrated his journey, and presented Rama's ring. To make his visit noticed, Hanuman assumed a massive stature, destroying Asoka Vana and damaging parts of Lanka. Ravana, angered, sent an army to capture Hanuman. Indrajit, Ravana's son, succeeded and took Hanuman to the court. Despite Ravana's fury, Hanuman spoke about Rama, warned of impending destruction, and set Lanka ablaze as he escaped. Vibhishana saved Hanuman from Ravana's harsh punishment. Hanuman, after ensuring the safety of the tree under which Sita sat, rushed back to Rama's camp to report his findings. Chapter 9, Ravana in Council. After Hanuman's destruction of Ravana's capital, the divine architect Maya rebuilt it. When Ravana surveyed the city, momentarily forgetting the setback, he admired the work. In a closed-door council with his brothers and army chiefs, Ravana expressed concern about his authority being challenged by a monkey. He sought advice from his council on the next course of action. His commander-in-chief criticized Ravana for hastily abducting Sita and suggested focusing on defeating Rama and Lakshmana first. Others echoed the sentiment, emphasizing the need to eliminate those who influenced the monkey. Kumbhakarna, Ravana's brother, suggested either returning Sita to Rama for peace or fighting for her possession. Ravana, stirred by Kumbhakarna's words, decided to raise his flags, gather armies, and march forward immediately. However, his son Indrajit proposed handling the situation himself, assuring victory. Vibhishana, Ravana's youngest brother, interjected, advising against underestimating the monkey forces. Vibhishana warned Ravana of the consequences of keeping Sita captive and urged him to release her for peace. He reminded Ravana of past curses and cautioned against contempt for men and monkeys. Despite Vibhishana's plea, Ravana, scornful of Rama, insisted on going forth for battle. Vibhishana privately tried to dissuade Ravana once more, expressing concern for the impending disaster. Ravana accused Vibhishana of treachery and suspicion, ultimately threatening him. Undeterred, Vibhishana left, foreseeing the downfall of his race. He crossed the seas and joined Rama's camp, where the monkey armies were prepared for battle. Chapter 10, Across the Ocean. As Vibhishana observed Rama contemplating plans to rescue Sita near the sea, he refrained from interrupting. Later, when Rama's army chiefs noticed Vibhishana, they mistook him for a spy and treated him harshly. In distress, Vibhishana cried out to Rama, seeking asylum and protection. Upon hearing Vibhishana's plea, Rama sent messengers to bring him before him. Hanuman, concerned about the visitor's intentions, dispatched a special messenger to investigate. After questioning Vibhishana, the messenger reported to Rama. Various opinions were voiced, with Sugriva expressing distrust due to Vibhishana's betrayal of his brother. Jambavan and others warned against admitting anyone from the enemy's camp. When Rama asked Hanuman for his opinion, Hanuman vouched for Vibhishana's sincerity, emphasizing his clean soul and good heart. Rama agreed, stating that one seeking asylum should be protected. Despite opposition, Rama decided to accept Vibhishana. Sugriva led Vibhishana to Rama, where the latter welcomed him warmly. Vibhishana graciously accepted Rama's friendship. Rama instructed Lakshmana to treat Vibhishana as a ruler in exile, providing him with comfort and honors. Vibhishana shared information about Ravana's troops, weapons, and army strength, aiding Rama in devising a precise plan to attack Lanka. Rama's next challenge was crossing the ocean. Standing on the shore, he prayed and fasted for 7 days, summoning the sea god. When the sea god explained his inability to make way, Rama, angered, threatened to evaporate the water with his arrows. The sea god pleaded for mercy, proposing to use whatever was brought to him to create a passage. Rama agreed, and his monkey army, along with other animals, brought mud, rocks, and even mountain pieces. Every contribution, no matter how small, contributed to the construction. Even a squirrel rolled pebbles. Through collective efforts, a passage emerged, allowing Rama's army to march across and land on the soil of Lanka. Chapter 11: The Siege of Lanka. Ravana strategically positioned his best divisions to guard the entrances to his capital, appointing trusted generals to crucial locations. However, as the battle unfolded, his world began to crumble, losing associates one after another. In desperation, Ravana resorted to cunning measures. He sent spies disguised as members of Rama's monkey army to corrupt key supporters like Sugriva. Sorcerers were employed to disturb Sita's mind, hoping her distress would weaken Rama's resolve. A sorcerer even presented a decapitated head resembling Rama's, falsely claiming his defeat. Sita, initially shaken, regained composure. A messenger from Rama warned Ravana of impending doom, revealing Vibhishana's crowning as the new king. Angered, Ravana ordered the messenger, Angatha, killed. However, Angatha, being Vala's son, fought back and left, breaking a tower of Ravana's palace. Upon receiving Angatha's report, Rama decided to launch the assault on Lanka. The battle intensified, blurring the lines between day and night. Buildings and trees were destroyed, and the monkeys overwhelmed Lanka. Indrajit, Ravana's son, attacked Rama and Lakshmana with serpent darts, causing them to faint. Indrajit, believing he had won, reported to Ravana, who celebrated prematurely. Sita was shown the apparent lifeless bodies of Rama and Lakshmana, leading her to despair. However, Trajata, a Rakshasi, revealed the truth to Sita, explaining the effects of the serpent darts. Garuda, the eagle enemy of serpents, neutralized the venom, and Rama and Lakshmana revived. Ravana, hearing the renewed cheers of the enemy, faced the resumption of the siege. Despite his losses, he still had key allies, including his son Indrajit. The battle continued, with Rama and Lakshmana facing Indrajit in combat. Lakshmana fainted, prompting Hanuman to carry Rama and charge toward Ravana. Ravana, wounded and humbled, stood defenseless before Rama. Rama offered a concession, asking Ravana to return the next day with fresh weapons. Ravana ordered his brother Kumbhakarna, known for his deep sleep, to be awakened. After a challenging process, Kumbhakarna was informed of the dire situation. He entered the battle, wreaking havoc, but was eventually defeated by Rama. Ravana, grieving Kumbhakarna's death, faced further challenges. His son Indrajit, using invisibility and trickery, caused havoc. He created an illusion of Sita and killed her before Rama's army, demoralizing the monkeys. Vibhishana, Ravana's brother now allied with Rama, rallied the troops. Indrajit was ultimately defeated by Lakshmana, leading to Ravana's despair. Advisors suggested killing Sita, but one council warned against compromising integrity. Ravana, determined to continue the fight, prepared to face Rama and Lakshmana. Chapter 12: Rama and Ravana Clash. Ravana received continuous reports of disasters in his camp. His commanders were lost, and the widow's cries overshadowed the triumphal songs in his assembly hall. Disturbed, Ravana ascended a tower for a citywide view, witnessing the destruction he had caused. The gruesome sight made him uneasy, igniting a mixture of rage and admiration for Rama's valor. Feeling compelled to act, he prepared for battle with ritual baths, prayers to Shiva, and donned his matchless armor. In contrast, the gods, sensing Ravana's determination, requested Indra to provide Rama with a special chariot. Matali, Indra's charioteer, brought the impressive vehicle to Rama. Initially skeptical, Rama sought opinions from Hanuman and Lakshmana, who vouched for its divine origin. As the battle commenced, Ravana's assistant Mahadara sought permission to engage Rama directly, but Ravana insisted he fight Lakshmana. Ignoring Ravana's advice, Mahadara charged at Rama and met a swift end. Ravana's anger intensified. Amid ominous signs, Ravana aimed to overpower Rama. However, Rama's calmness prevailed. Ravana's bowstrings snapped, mountains shook, and thunders rumbled, but Ravana dismissed the omens, determined to defeat Rama. The gods intervened, providing Rama with the celestial chariot, prompting an aerial pursuit. Ravana attacked Rama's army from the skies, leading Rama to instruct Matali to follow and counter the assault. The dueling chariots circled the globe, with Ravana's arrows striking Rama's horses and Matali. Despite setbacks, Rama pressed on, and divine eagle Garuda appeared on his flagpost, considered an auspicious sign. The battle escalated with Ravana invoking supernatural forces. Rama skillfully parried using special arrows. Ravana, realizing conventional tactics were ineffective, employed the Astra Amaya to create illusions, reviving his seemingly defeated armies. Matali enlightened Rama, who used the Vijnana, a weapon to dispel the illusions. Undeterred, Ravana unleashed the Gthama Astra, enveloping the earth in darkness, unleashing storms and chaos. Rama countered with the Kshivastra. Ravana, considering his trident the deadliest weapon, hurled it toward Rama. Panic ensued, but Rama, undeterred, faced the formidable weapon with determination. When Rama noticed his arrows failing against Ravana's trident, he momentarily felt disheartened. However, as the trident approached, Rama chanted a mantra, causing it to collapse. Astonished, Ravana questioned if Rama might be a divine being. Despite doubts, Ravana resolved to continue the fight. Ravana then unleashed monstrous serpents with fire and venom, but Rama used the Garuda Astra, summoning eagles to neutralize the threat. Infuriated, Ravana blindly fired arrows, which Rama skillfully redirected back at him. As the battle intensified, Ravana's special gifts proved ineffective, and Rama's crescent-shaped arrow continuously severed his heads. Ravana's arms and heads regenerated, each cast off head summoning demons to dance and feast. Desperate, Ravana unleashed various objects on Rama, but all were deflected. Rama, contemplating the end, decided to use the potent Brahmastra. With prayers, he directed the weapon at Ravana's heart, bypassing his protective heads and arms. Ravana, vulnerable at the heart, fell to the ground. Strikingly, Ravana's face now radiated serenity, shedding the layers of anger and ego. Rama, observing this transformation, descended from his chariot and thanked Matali before commanding him to return the chariot to Indra. Rama, accompanied by Lakshmana and Hanuman, approached Ravana's body. Seeing the scattered crowns and blood-covered armor, Rama sighed, acknowledging the potential within Ravana tainted by his flaws. Noticing a scar on Ravana's back, Rama expressed concern for attacking a retreating foe. Vibhishana, Ravana's brother, clarified that it was an old scar from a previous encounter with divine elephants. Accepting the explanation, Rama urged respect for Ravana's memory and left Vibhishana to arrange a fitting funeral for the fallen adversary. Chapter 13. Interlude. To connect the story, a passage from Valmiki. After Ravana's demise, Rama dispatched Hanuman as his messenger to bring Sita back. Sita, who had been mourning, immediately wanted to meet Rama. Hanuman, however, conveyed Rama's wish for her to dress up before meeting him. A large crowd gathered around Rama. When Sita arrived after enduring months of loneliness, her husband received her publicly. Despite feeling awkward, she accepted it. Yet she sensed an unusual distance between them. After a period of contemplation, Rama abruptly stated, "My mission is accomplished. I have freed you." This effort wasn't for personal satisfaction but to uphold the honor of the Ikshvaku lineage and our ancestors' values. However, it's not customary to reintegrate a woman who lived alone in a stranger's house. "We won't live together again. You are free to go wherever you please." Sita, upon hearing this, broke down, realizing her trials were not over. She summoned Lakshmana and instructed, "Light a fire on this spot." The crowd watched in shock as Lakshmana, without objection from Rama, quickly prepared a blazing pyre. The flames soared and Rama remained silent. Sita, prostrating before the fire, declared, "Go Agni, witness my actions." She then entered the fire. From the flames emerged the god of fire, carrying Sita, and presented her to Rama with blessings. Convinced that he had vindicated Sita's integrity, Rama welcomed her back into his arms. Chapter 14. The Coronation. Rama explained that he had put Sita through a trial to prove her purity to the entire world, an action seemingly inconsistent with his past deeds. Despite restoring Aholya and recommending Sugriva's wife to be taken back, Rama subjected Sita to a trial. Sita, however, remained inviolable despite Ravana's relentless attempts. The gods, relieved yet uneasy, felt Rama was losing sight of his divinity. Brahma, the creator, reminded Rama of his divine identity, stating that Sita is a part of that divinity. Shiva encouraged Dasaratha to meet Rama, recognizing his sacrifices. Dasaratha, in his true form, expressed joy and offered any wish to Rama. Rama asked Dasaratha to accept Kaikeyi and Bharatha, lifting a burden from his mind. The gods advised Rama to return to Ayodhya on the 5th day of the full moon, completing his exile. Vibhishana provided the Pushpak Vimana for a swift return. Rama, accompanied by an army and supporters, pointed out landmarks during the journey. At Nandigram, Bharatha, anxious about Rama's return, contemplated self-immolation. Hanuman arrived with the news of Rama's imminent arrival, preventing Bharatha's sacrifice. Bharatha, convinced by Hanuman, prepared to welcome Rama. Rama's Vimana arrived, reuniting him with family and friends. Coronation preparations began and Rama was crowned emperor. The coronation marked the end of 14 years of exile, bringing joy and fulfillment to everyone. Hanuman, ever devoted, stood by Rama's side. The story concludes with Rama's enthronement, and traditional narrators might extend the narrative, describing coronation details, guests, and the happiness that ensued. Hanuman, revered for his dedication, is highlighted, and the oral tradition adds occasional modern references for engagement. The epilogue briefly mentions the narration's traditional aspects, including the reluctance to reach the end. The storyteller would cover the entire Ramayana, with occasional modern comparisons. The story concludes with Rama's reign of peace and happiness, omitting a less popular sequel involving Rama and Sita's second parting and their return to the heavens. This narrative preference aligns with Kamban's version, emphasizing Rama's return to Ayodhya and a prosperous reign.